the recording just so that other people can catch up. Thank you for making it here today. Um, can we just like do a little bit of introductions in the chat? Just your name, um, where you're joining from, what you do. So whether you're a student, a professional, anything, your name, where you're joining from, what you do, or an organization you're affiliated with, anything, please just put it in the chat. Don't leave me hanging. I'm not seeing anything in the chat though. Please don't leave me hanging. Okay. Thank you, Ife, Olua. More, please. Thank you. More people. We need more people to introduce themselves in the chat. Okay. So while we wait for that, thank you very much for being here. So this workshop is brought to you by the ESG Champions community. And the community is basically a community of professionals that was founded by Mfon Essien and a couple of other highly skilled sustainability professionals. And basically, this workshop is part of the end of year outreach that the community is doing just to support as many people as are relevant to the objectives of the community. So the ESG Champions community is a great space to interact with other professionals within the space to discuss hands-on issues like burning questions that you have at your job in your workplace, with implementing environmental and social sort of safeguards, policies, and practices across different sectors and organizations in Nigeria, in Ghana, and beyond. So that's that on introduction of what the program is about. So today we'll be running through the program as shown. We'll do a little bit of introduction of the facilitators, and then we would have a CV session, a sort of CV building session, just discussing the key elements of a good CV. We would have a short Q&A session after that, just to kind of resolve any burning questions. And then we would continue with a session on interviews, preparing for interviews and just presenting yourself better and more effectively. And then we would have a bit of a longer Q&A session after that, and a sort of live CV review or interview response review, just as many people as would want to maybe give a try at an interview question and just get feedback on what the facilitators think about their responses. So we'd have that, and then we'll discuss what happens afterwards, and that would take us to a close. So just a bit of housekeeping, usual typical housekeeping in any virtual sort of event. Please mute your microphone when you're not speaking. Raise your hand to ask a question or contribute, or you can just drop your comment or your question in the chat box. And please, let's all maintain respectful communication. No insults, nothing like that. So thank you very much for making it once again. The workshop would be co-facilitated by Ambassador Dolapo Adebola and myself. We're both members of the ESG Champions community that I introduced earlier. My name is Mori Akiridoluale, and I am a sustainability and environmental professional. I am currently a doctoral researcher at the University of Exeter, and my research is on policies and organizational change for circular economy. I serve as the CEO at Enconverge Green Limited, Enconverge is a tech-enabled company which facilitates collaboration of environmental stakeholders. We provide sustainability advisory services to businesses, corporates, and SMEs, and we also provide career development services and we promote eco-friendly commerce across Africa. So my work experience has been all about research, advisory, audits, and management of environmental and social projects and systems. And this experience spans multiple sectors, including, built environment, construction, energy, food and agriculture, and medical technology. So that's all about me. I'm going to read a bio of Ambassador Dolapo, who will be doing most of the speaking today, and we will get to the business of the day. So, Dolapo Adebola is a seasoned environmental, social, and governance and sustainability professional with over a decade of hands-on experience supporting organizations to achieve regulatory compliance, environmental stewardship, and long-term sustainable value. He graduated at the top of his class from Ladoke Akintola University of Technology, Ogbomoso, Nigeria, where he earned a Bachelor of Technology degree in pure and applied chemistry, specializing in industrial and environmental chemistry. He also holds an educational diploma in environmental quality monitoring and analysis. Dolapo has strengthened his professional expertise through globally recognized certifications from the World Bank Group and many leading international institutions in Singapore, the United States, and the United Kingdom. Professionally, Dolapo has served as a senior sustainability consultant at Natural Eco Capital Limited, where he supported corporate clients in environmental and social impact assessment, sustainability strategy development, stakeholder engagement, and environmental and social management systems. He currently serves as a senior sustainability and ESG consultant at the Distributed Renewable Energy Enhancement Facility, providing project preparation and advisory support to distributed renewable energy clients to achieve bankability and financial close. Beyond consulting, Dolapo is the managing director and CEO of Dolapo's Career Compass Limited, where he delivers practical coaching and capacity building programs for graduates, professionals, and career switchers seeking to build impactful careers in sustainability and ESG. Driven by a strong passion for sustainability, risk management, and climate resilient development, Dolapo Adebola is widely recognized for his analytical depth, strategic insight, and ability to translate ESG principles into practical, result-oriented solutions for businesses and institutions. Aren't we just about to eat good? I want to see reactions if we are excited about our speaker, our facilitator, our tutor today. I want to see reactions or comments in the chat, please. Don't leave me hanging. Okay, so over to you, Ambassador Dolapo. Thank you so much for your time today.
Once again, good evening, everyone, and good evening, Maureen. Thank you so much for that introduction, and then I'm glad to be here this evening, for this section, and I believe that everybody has one or two things to learn, in the workshop. So before I start with the workshop proper, I would just like to encourage us to, pay attention, to every details we'll be talking about. It is sacrosanct that we understand some of these things because they are very important. So I believe that at the end of the day, we'll have almost all our questions answered, and then everybody will be better positioned to take advantage of, the labor market and then to secure their dream job and build an impactful and meaningful career you know. Looking at the contents before me today, so we'll be looking at the objectives, the content says the objectives. We look at what is our curriculum vitae. We look at the key sections. We look at personal information, writing summary, a strong profile summary, skills and competences. And then from there, we go to education section. And then we look at the work experience, the certification. And please, next slide. All right, so we look at the projects and achievements, common mistakes to avoid, the formatting tips, and then final advice on CVs. Okay. All right, please let's go ahead. So the objectives at the end of the workshop, participants should learn how to create and edit a strong professional CV, the key component of a winning CV, and then the common CV mistakes to avoid. So those are three key things we want to see that everybody understand at the end of this today's workshop. So we are starting with this. What is a curriculum vitae? Now we say it's a concise document highlighting your education, your skills, and experience, which is used to market yourself to employers. Now, it is important for us to get this that your CV is not just anyhow document, it is a concise document, meaning that it is a brief document that contains essential information to market yourself to your employer. So the question is, what is the employer looking for? What are the recruiters? What are they looking for? So those are the things that should fuel the information that will be in your concise document, which is your CV. Now, the standing rule for a CV states that it must be clear, it must be structured and professional. Now, we cannot overemphasize the importance of these three cardinal rules. Whenever you see a CV, these are the three things that should cross your mind. Is it clear? Is it structured? Is it professional? And these three qualities or three ingredients are so essential to create an ever winning CV, such that if any of these qualities, is not included in your CV, then the chances are that the CV may not, fly as it were. Now, let's look at the next slide. So, what are the key sections of a CV? Now we have personal information, we have your professional summary, we have the skill and competencies, education, work experience, certifications and training, projects and achievements, and then we have the referees. Now, these are the key components of a professional CV. In other words, every professional CV you see will contain these elements. Okay. However, I want us to also understand that it's possible maybe one or two are not included, but basically these are all the components that you should have on your CV. And the way I've arranged them here, these are the ways it is better to let it flow. I remember talking to a group of students, some time ago, when I saw the way they arranged their CV, these informations are there. However, some of them they interchange some of the arrangements here. For instance, the education comes, before the skills and the competencies. And when I saw it, I advised them that, okay, it's better to let your skills and competencies come before your education. Why? Because basically, in the labor market today, or if you look at the environment that we have today, it's not much about what you studied, not much about your education. The question is, what can you do? So education is now basic. It was in those early days that everybody, that you look at the number of core members. For instance, in a state, you may have just like 100 core members in one state. Then education is like the golden rule, and that's what everybody wants to see. But today, your school may not really mean so much to the employer than the skills. What can you do? What are the competencies you have? So in professional setting, it's better your skills and your competencies come first before you start talking about your education and then your work experience, and then every other thing can flows as it were. All right. So let's go to the next slide. Now, let's take it one by one. So, for the personal information, these are the essential things you should have. Your full name, as seen on official document, is important to have that. Then your phone numbers, and then if you have one or two phone numbers, you can include both. And then your email should be a professional address. Now, let me say a little about this before I proceed. Now, a number of times I've seen some CVs that the email is properly, I mean, the email is not well structured, or the formatting is wrong, or use something very casual, or an old domain on your CV, all of this is unprofessional. For instance, you see somebody writing, maybe they write their name at example.com, just use some, there are some mails like that, some domains that are not professional, they are just ordinary domains. So those kind of emails, are unprofessional. For instance, I advise people these days that if you still use Hotmail on your CV, it's better you remove Hotmail. You can maintain Gmail. Gmail is still more acceptable than Hotmail now. So if you can use Hotmail maybe for friendly talk and all of that, but most of the time now, professionally take Hotmail out. You can use Outlook, you can use Gmail. Those ones are still very much, welcome. Okay, so just be careful and then ensure that the address is well formatted, such that when they send anything there, it will not bounce back, right? And then the next thing is the location. Now, your location should be written on your CV, the states where you are, the local government only. You may not have to write the full address. Detailed address may not be necessary, just an address, to show where you are. It may not be a full address to your house in particular. Okay. Now, the next information there is your LinkedIn profile, which is also important, and it is recommended to have your LinkedIn profile on your personal information. Okay. Now, writing a strong profile summary. Now, I want us to pay attention to this. The first thing I want to see on your CV after your name, oh, sorry, excuse me. I think there's a light out. All right, but let's just continue, right? So the first thing that I want to see, basically, when I look at your CV, is your profile summary. So that is what somebody wants to look out for in your CV, your profile summary. And then most of the time, understand that your profile summary is basically like a 2 to 3 sentence, right? That shows who you are, a 2 to 3 sentence overview of who you are. It tells us of your strength, your experience level, and then your career goal. Now, these are basic things that your profile summary must contain, and then it must be tailored to the job you are applying for. It is so important. And so, a number of times, you see people, they will just write profile summary is like 5, 6 sentences. It's too long, it's too lengthy. Okay. And so professionally, your profile summary should be very short, 2 to 3 sentences, and then it must tell us who you are. As a matter of fact, that is the first statement you are making. And like, it is normally said that the first impression you create lasts long. So when I see your profile summary, even before meeting you, I understand who you are from it. I want to see your strength, your experience level, and your career goal. So if all of these are missing, or I cannot understand who you are from your profile summary, then most likely I may not have to do anything with that CV any longer. And so that is why you need to pay attention to it. And I've seen some CV that you see somebody will just go to AI and go and copy something from AI and drop on their profile summary. No, that is wrong. Your profile summary should create originality. It should be authentic to who you are. It is not something you copied from anywhere. It is something that reflects your real person, such that when I pick your CV or a recruiter pick your CV, after reading the summary, you have an understanding, a clear profile summary, well structured, and it's professional. So I see it, I'm like, oh, it's like this person has something to offer. This person look like the person I'm looking for this role. And once you catch somebody with your profile summary, or your profile summary is catchy, let me use that word, the next thing is, okay, let me see the skill and the competence. Once I look at the profile summary, the skill and competencies, then I can make my decision on the go. I don't need to know whether you have a first class or 2-1 or whatever. I may look at that if I'm impressed with your skills. But if your skills and competencies is not looking like what I'm looking for, then there's no point I waste another minute to look through your entire CV. I don't want to know whether you are coming from Harvard, whether you are coming from the best school in whatever. I'm not interested anymore. And so it is important that you pay attention to your profile summary. Okay. Now, another thing I would like to talk about is now the skill and the competencies. Now, your skill and competencies are also important, and then you have to pay attention to it. Now, skills, you can include both technical and the soft skills can be included. For example, you have the Microsoft Office. You have that's an example of technical data analysis. You want to look at soft skills like communication, teamwork. So all of these things are important. You must build skills and competencies that are relevant to today's labor market. It's so important. And then again, the skills and competencies should focus on skills relevant to the job description. Now, a number of times when I'm holding classes like this, I tell people that it is not just enough to see an application and then you are interested and then you submit your CV. You must ensure that you are qualified. And how do you know whether you are qualified? Is when you look at your CV, benchmark your CV with what the recruiter or what the employer is looking for. And that is why you notice that there's always job description. They will tell you the key requirement, the key competencies they are looking for. Then put your CV by the side. Look at yourself, be sincere with yourself, and look at what the employer is looking for. By the time you look at the key skills, look at what you have. Do I have what is required? For instance, let's say 9 skills or competencies are required for a particular role, and all you have is just 2. And out of the 9, 5 is very key to the recruiter. 4, you can learn it on the job. Out of the 5 key skills or competencies, your CV only has 1. Then submitting that CV is a waste of time. It will not fly because it is not exactly, it's not looking like what I'm looking for. So me as a recruiter, I have 5 key skills I'm looking for. Other ones are additions, other ones are preferred, but they are not so important, but it is preferred, but it's not that so key to the recruiter. So you need to understand the job description, understand what the recruiter or the employer is looking for, and then your skills and competencies must align. And that's why I do something I call an alignment matrix, such that by the time you put your CV, you analyze your CV with what the job description is saying. And on a scale of 1 to 10, if you don't have 8 or 9 or 10, then please don't submit your CV. You are just going to waste time. So if you can't score 8, 9, 10 in the alignment matrix, then there's no point. It's a waste of time. That CV will not go anywhere. So you must pay close attention to the skills, the competencies you have in line with what the job description is saying, and it must tailor to it. So because it is the degree of the alignment that your CV has with what the recruiter is looking for that determines whether you have a chance for an interview or not. If there's a wide gap, then there's no chances. But if they are looking for 9 and you have 8, you have 9, then the chances are you have the opportunity to be called upon. So your skills and competencies must focus on relevant skills that are tailored to the job description. All right, so let's go ahead. Now, you come down to the education section. Number one, you list your highest qualification first. It's so important. Now, this is how do I say it now? There's this rule we call the rule of the best foot, right? Now, the rule of the best foot says that you put your best foot forward always. So when you are writing under the education section, it is better to write in a reverse chronological. What do I mean? Starting with the most recent, the highest you have. You have maybe you went to 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 different schools, but you start from the highest. That is what the rule says. So you start with the most recent, right? And so you go from least the highest. If you have a PhD, let's know. If you have a master's, let it flows that down like that. And then the institution, the program, and the year of completion. Recently, I saw a CV. The person wrote the school. The person did not write the year of completion of the program. I don't know why my eyes went to that first. And that was the only thing I saw on the CV, and I dropped the CV immediately. Immediately I didn't see I just drop it immediately. I didn't have time to look at, the other things the person has because I have many CVs to look at. But the fact that that information is missing, it shows to me that what came to mind is this person is very careless, and I just dropped the CV. And that's how recruiters look at it. And why did I say that? Because I've sat a number of times on recruiting panel. I've sat, even to recruit people for organization. I'll be sharing one of my examples, the one I did recently. And this is what we discussed at back end. You know, I just said this person is very careless. I did not even look at whether she had the first class. I did not look at any other skill again. Just that one that my eyes saw at glance, I just dropped the CV immediately. Why? Because it shows carelessness. This is not professionalism. So I can't deal with somebody that's very careless with a document as important as a CV. So I just dropped it. And I didn't shortlist the candidate for interview. Maybe I'll even check the CV after this call to see the other information there. But that's the end because it's so important. And so once you miss certain things like that, recruiters will not look at it again. Not professional, they just drop it. So please pay attention, and all of these things must be in your CV. Cases where you have options that okay, optional cases you may overlook, but things like this is so important. The institution, the program, the year of completion must be there. Again, you may add relevant coursework if there are limited experiences. For instance, maybe you have some experiences from your IT. There's a way you package the experiences from your IT, what you did, the impact of what you did, the achievements. There's a way you write it that shows us that, okay, one, two, three skills were learned during this person's IT, and these were the things this person did, and these are the achievements, these are the impacts. Okay, all right. So, but if you have other things, maybe your coursework, your project in school, there's a way you write those projects. There's a way you present what you did that will show us the skills. In between what you are writing, we can see the skills that you have, learned, and then we can see what is your achievement, not just what you did alone. All right. So, having said that, let's go to the next slide. Now, the next slide is talking about the work experience, and that is okay. We have three things here too. Okay, so now under your work experience, the first one here says list in reverse chronological order. Again, the rule of the best foot applies here. And that rule, like I state, it says that the best foot should be put forward always. So when it comes to work experience, your best foot is your current status. What you did 2016, thank God you worked, you did something, it's fine, it's beautiful, but it's in the past. It should come below. What you are doing currently should be the first thing you are putting forward. Okay. So if I see someone's CV or I look at the CV and the person arranged the CV in chronological order, the work experience, I may not have to look at it a second time because unprofessional things just depress you as a recruiter. This person is not serious. Just drop it. So all of this is because most times you have few minutes. In fact, at times it's just a minute to impress the recruiter. Okay. Now, I said I'm going to share an experience with you. Recently, I recruited for an organization. I was given 220 CVs, and they only needed just six persons. Now, you know what I did? The 220 CV, I just sat down, and then 30 minutes, I shortlisted 15 CVs within 30 minutes. So once I see some blunders, I just remove it. This one is I just remove it. And within 30 minutes, I have 15 quality professional CV. The 15 CVs were clear, well structured, clearly written, well formatted, excellent. I didn't have any complaint. I just brought out the 15. The other ones, I have one complaint. This one, maybe this person just wrote the duties, no accomplishments, nothing. So within 30 minutes, I have 15 quality CV, and then we need six people. So I suggested to the company that okay, let us arrange interview for this 15. This 15 CV, they match what we're looking for. These people, these CVs are quality, they are well structured. I don't know them from anywhere, but I'm impressed with what I saw. And I know we'll get six from this 15. And then we did just two rounds of interview, and then we chose six people. And the six, they've even resumed in the company. So you could imagine, I don't have to waste my time. 220 CV, 30 minutes, I'm done with it. So once I see any unprofessional elements from the CV, I just drop it. I just drop. In fact, some of the CVs are poorly formatted. You see inconsistent spacing. People just write anything anyhow. I'm like, what is all this? So easily, it's very easy. Once it's not professional, just take it out. I don't have time to waste. So within 30 minutes, I was done with 220 CVs. No wasting of time. 15 quality best CV. I took them out. And after interview, six were selected and they have even resumed. So why am I saying this? I'm saying this because this document, your CV, is so important. It is your first statement. It is your first impression. And once there's anything unprofessional or anything is not clear or is not structured, easily it will be removed. For instance, I've reviewed some of the CVs that we have, some CVs that have been uploaded for this program. And to be sincere, two of the CVs, their profile summary is confusing. So I just put it aside. Very confusing. I'm like, these people, they are confusing my head. It's not clear. I can't really make head or tail of what these people are saying. two profile summary. And of course, nobody has that time. I can't start confusing my head with your CV. Once a CV is confusing, I'm having so many confusion. Then why do I have to waste time? This person is not clear. He doesn't understand what is saying. Do I remove it? That's the way it works. Okay. So I just shared that so that we can understand how important some of these things are. Next is include your job title, organization, the location and dates. It's so important. The organization, the location, and then the dates you were in that company. Okay. Now, number three, use bullet points to show accomplishment. Don't just write the duties. Show the accomplishment. Don't just write the duties. It's so important. Let's show the accomplishment. A number of times people will just write, oh, I did this, I prepared this. It's not about what you prepare. It's not about what they ask you to do. What is more important to us is what did you achieve? What skills did you build in it? What was the impact? So, for instance, at a point in my career, I worked in Airtel. I was a project supervisor. I was supervising Airtel product in 7 local government area in Lagos State. Now, when I put that in my CV, if you are asking me or I write anything about it, I will tell you my accomplishment. I will tell you the amount of money I was able to raise for Airtel per week. Within this short space of time, I was able to raise this amount of money. I was able to strategize my team. Like, that's what I will put there. I will not be writing stories of what I did. I will be writing more of my accomplishments. These were the things I achieved. I was able to grow this particular market from to about 15% of the recent number. We have 234 people here. Now I grew the customer base to this number. That's what I want to see you say. So when I see things like that on your CV, then my head is thinking that, oh, this person is productive. This person is result oriented. This person is not telling me the job description. He's telling me what he did, the accomplishment, the result, the impact. Do you understand? So those are the things that your CV should include on your work experience. The days are gone that people will start writing, I was sitting as a computer operator, I was to print paper for the MD. Who cares whether you print paper? We are interested in the paper you are printing. What is the document for? What did you achieve? What was your result? So that is what your CV should contain, not stories of only duties. Your accomplishment must be stated so that we can begin to understand, you're kind of a person. Right now, certifications and training. Now, so you may have to include some certifications, and today there are a lot of programs online that you can venture into. A lot of programs, a lot of free programs. You can even buy courses on some platforms like Coursera, like FedEx. All kinds of things are there that you can even learn, to build your skills, right? So you can include professional courses and certificate. For instance, we have HSC, project management, digital skills, just name it, that is relevant to your career, ESD, data analysis, and then don't forget, add the issuing body and the year. For instance, you have a project management certificate from the International Project Management Professionals. Write it there, UK 2002. Put it there. Do you get? So it's so important. Next slide, please. All right, so let's look at project and achievement. So in case you have projects and achievements, you can also include it and showcase your practical projects, your volunteer experience, what you achieved, the result using action verb. Action verb shows us what you did and your achievement. Next slide, please. All right, so these are common mistakes to avoid in your CV. Spelling and grammatical errors, unprofessional email addresses, I've talked about it. Your email should be professional. And then including unnecessary personal data like age. You can imagine somebody still writing age, religion on their CV, even marital status, nobody cares. Those informations are unnecessary. So you can take them out, from your CV. And then poor formatting. I think a large number or many of the CV I've seen, uploaded, I think the formatting is a little bit low. I mean, not up to the standard I was expecting. In other words, formatting your CV is so important. When a CV is poorly formatted, it only shows you who that person is. So because the recruiter has not seen you, I don't know you from anywhere, I've not seen you before. So your CV is the first thing I'm seeing. And I'm seeing a CV that is poorly formatted. It doesn't matter where you are coming from. I won't look at the CV the second time. That's the end. Because that shows unprofessionalism, that shows carelessness, that shows the person is not structured. It has given a whole lot of information about the person. But when you see a professional CV, a quality CV, you see the consistency, you see neat formatting, the alignment in the information, the clarity is matchless. Okay, so these are common CV mistakes to avoid. Let's go ahead, please. Now, formatting tips. We have the use, keep, maintain, export, and send model. Now, the use says that use clean fonts. Use clean fonts like Calibri or Area. In fact, there are some other fonts that are still good that you can actually use, but these are common fonts that are beautiful to use. And then keep the CV length 1 to 2 pages maximum, depending on your level of experience, depending on your years of cognitive experience. Okay, let me use that word. If you have actually done maybe some things, maybe 3, 4, 5 years, okay, then maybe need that your CV is entering third page. But even if it's going to third page, it's showing accomplishments, not stories. It must be result, information that is making it to go to maybe a third page or something. So most of the time, as much as possible, keep your CV concise. And concise means very brief. So most times 1 to 2 pages maximum is fine. And then maintain consistent spacing and alignment. This is so important. You look at some CV from what you are seeing, the spacing is absurd. You see 8/4 spacing here. You get to another, you get to next, just immediate next line. You are seeing 12/6. You are like, who is this person? You understand? So maintain consistency in your spacing, your alignment, okay? And then export and send your CV in a PDF format. It's advisable to do that. Okay. All right. So let's go ahead, please. Now, final advice on this. Tailor every CV to the job you're applying for. This is also important. Now, when you have done your CV, it's generic, it's beautiful, it's good, it's great. But again, you can tweak it to apply for different jobs within the same space. Okay, so there's a way to adjust your CV to tailor it to meet the job you're applying for, and then be honest, avoid over exaggeration, and then review and proofread. Proofread before submission to check for grammatical error, check for mistakes, check your alignments, check your formatting, and then seek mentorship and feedback after you have submitted your CV. So, thank you very much. So, this is all I'll be saying on this. So, thank you for listening. So, over to you, Maureen.
Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. Thank you so much for those gems. I'm definitely going to go back to my CV as well and just make sure that I'm on point. But yes, thank you for that. Does anybody have any questions on structuring your CV or just any experience that you would like to share regarding good CVs or bad CV experiences? If you would like to share, you can type in the chat if you want, or you can raise your hand um, and speak and share with us. So does anybody want to share or have any questions or any comments on the session as well is also fine. Okay. Ini says, thank you, sir. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Okay. So if we don't have any questions, I think we can just move straight into the second part of the program, which is on interviews and presenting yourself. So, okay, so I can see the comments in the chat. Thank you. Session was insightful. Thank you, thank you, thank you. So we're going to dive right back and go into the second part of the program. So over to you, please, Ambassador Adebola.
All right. Thank you, Maureen. So let's just quickly go ahead. So let's look at interview tips. So let's say we have shortlisted your CV. Now you are to attend an interview. Now let me start by saying this: that when the purpose of a thing is not known, then abuse is what is inevitable. Now I tell people before going for an interview, you must sit down to understand what is the purpose of interview. What am I going to do there? What is the aim? So number one, the interview is to help employer to assess your suitability for the role. It's a case of, like they say, comparing apple to apple. So your CV is like the apple. Now you are the physical apple now. So it's like comparing the information on your CV with the person. We want to see the suitability. This thing has impressed me. Let me see whether there's a match, there's an alignment. Okay. So that's number one. Now, secondly, is an opportunity to showcase your strength and competencies. Now you've gotten my interest in you as a person. Now I want to meet you to see whether those things you actually possess those strengths and those competencies that you have highlighted on your CV. All right. And then the number three thing is allows you to ask questions and understand the organization. Allows you to ask questions and then to understand the organization. It's so important. It is so important. And okay, so these are the three things that you must have at the back of your mind. These are the purpose why you are going for the interview. So a number of times when people come for interview and then I'm asking them, do you have any question to ask? And then you hear things like, oh, I don't have any question to ask for now. It baffles me because for me, I'm like, this is an opportunity, and this person just throw it away. So that shows that you don't really understand the purpose of the interview. They want to hear from you. And so you must ask them question. Now, I do say this a number of times, in most of my classes that anytime you go for interview, even before you go, you must write down questions you want to ask. There may be something very basic, but those questions should show your interest and then your passion in that role. If you tell me you don't have anything to ask, as a recruiter, what am I thinking? I'm like, this person is not interested. This person doesn't show any motivation, any passion as such. Why won't you have questions to ask? Are you not eager to work with us? All right. So you must have questions to ask. So let's go ahead, please. So now, before the interview, research the company and the job role thoroughly, then practice common interview questions and answers. Print a clean copy of your CV. Now, I've seen some CVs, those days of physical CV collection. I've seen some CVs, and I'll look at the paper and I'll ask myself, I'll say, did this person go to school? And I will see the person will even write the university. I'm like, so you went to a university and then you can print a CV and it's this bad. Some printers are so bad that it's color, the paper is turning black, and you still submitted this thing like this. I mean, how do you want me to think of you? Immediately I see this, I'm like, who is this person? It shows me the kind of person you are. So you can submit this. That's just remove it. I'm not looking at whatever is there. I will not be straining my eyes to look at colored paper, black, and all kinds of my God. It doesn't work that way. So a clean copy of your CV and then prepare a short, clear self introduction. Now, this is so important. I've emphasized this. In fact, this year, I think I've emphasized this point many times in most of my classes. Now, the issue is this. When you come for an interview, the first impression is when you are asked, let us meet you. So when I ask you, let us meet you, that is your first impression. And the first impression lasts long. And the truth is, immediately you open your mouth to speak, you tell the world who you are. Nobody cares at that point. So when you open your mouth, that 30 seconds to talk about yourself, you are telling us exactly who you are. And after that first 30 seconds or 60 seconds or whatever, the impression that we have of you at that minute is the same impression we carry all through the interview. So it's mostly difficult to change that impression. So that is why when you are to go and give a short self introduction, you must prepare, write it down if possible, rehearse it, stay in front of mirror if possible, rehearse it and make sure you know what you are saying and let it be clear and straight. It must tell us who you are, it must tell us your career objectives, it must tell us your skill. There's a way you arrange it that when you are done saying, you're like, okay, I think I like this person. I think I'm impressed. I think this person knows what we're doing. I think this person know why we are here. Those are the positive feeling, positive energy that you have created from that self introduction. And you must be confident about it. Don't talk and you're like, I am, and everybody's like, what is this person saying? You are talking forward, you are talking backward, we are trying to understand what you are saying. There's no clarity. Nobody can really put it together like this person is not a serious person. And once their countenance fall from the beginning or they feel depressed, that's the end of that interview. At the end of the day, they ask, okay, thank you very much for your time. At the end, they are like, this person is not, because that first impression has zero or water than everything. So you must ensure that you prepare a very clear self introduction. Now, let's slide, please. All right, so professional appearance, I believe many of us, you know this. So dress in neat, corporate, or smart casual attire, depending on where you are going. But don't look, rough, or don't look like you are going for a sport. Dress and look neat and corporate. Groom hair, your nails, your shoes should look clean, and avoid bright colors, excessive makeup, or flashy accessories. Just appear professionally. I think this is not something to waste time on. Now, punctuality. Arrive 10 to 15 minutes early for physical interview. It is important. Don't go for an interview and you are sweating or you are breathing heavily. Make sure you leave. If possible, 30 minutes you are there, you rest, properly. I remember when I went when I met the MD of Natural Eco Capital, when I was there, he asked me to meet him in person. And then the day I went to see him, I came, I waited for him. He said he was coming with two of his professor friend. So two of his friend came along with him. They met me in the reception. I greeted him. He went up with the professor. Was like, "Oh, you are here already?" I said, "Yes, sir." So that is an impression. So I waited. After I waited for him, he and his two professors friend, they went upstairs. They had some talk. They delayed me there for like an hour. That 1 hour I was there, I was revising myself on what Natural Capital does. And one of the questions I rehearsed while I was downstairs, he asked me when I got upstairs to meet them for the interview. So why am I saying this? I was so relaxed. I could rehearse, I could look at other things, and it went well, right? So be there early enough so you can calm your mind down. You can revise something you read about the complaint. I just sat down, I was just reading about the complaint. The extra 1 hour he kept me downstairs. I read all through about the complaint, the projects they have done, familiarize myself with some things, revise some things while I was there. And then it turned out that the last question when I was done with the two professors, that was the only thing he asked me. And then when I was done talking, he was impressed. Said, "Oh, you even know what we're doing? I think I'm impressed." That was it. So, but assuming I don't even know what they are doing, you're like, so who is this kind of person? You are coming here in his mind. But of course, that did not play out anyway. That's in the past. So what am I trying to say in essence is arrive early for your interview. If it is virtual meeting, be there like 5 to 10 minutes. Join, let them meet you there. It's important. It's important. This my current place where I work. They met me the final interview with all of them. They met me there. All of them met me there. I waited for all of them before they joined. So that shows responsibility. That shows punctuality. That shows this person is on time, right? So test your audio, camera, internet beforehand. It's so important to avoid any glitches or what have you. Now, how to introduce yourself? Use a 30 to 60 seconds professional summary. I've talked about that. Within that short space of time, talk about your skills. Keep it short. Your education and career goals. Let it go sequentially like that. After you mention your name, tell us your skill. Let your skill come before your education. I've said that a number of times. Don't introduce yourself and the next thing is, I'm a graduate of, leave that. We know you are a graduate. Immediately you tell us your name, tell us your skill and competence. From there, just quickly slide to your education and then slide to your career goals. 60 seconds, clean, clear, direct, no ambiguity, and everybody understand you clearly. That's the way to do it. So avoid long stories, keep your speech organized, and be confident. Okay, next slide, please. Now, answering interview question, use the STAR method. Now, STAR method is used for behavioral questions. I've said this a number of times. It is for behavioral questions. STAR has to do with the situation. You talk about the task, talk about the action and the result. So most of the time, you go for interview, you hear questions like, if you are in a team and then you have to work with a difficult team member, how do you handle a difficult team member? You understand? So those are kind of behavioral questions that you may come across when you are attending an interview. And so for such questions, it's better to use the STAR method. STAR method keeps you organized. It makes people to flow easily with you. You can talk smoothly and we understand what you are saying. All right. So the STAR method is to tell us the situation. For instance, you had to work on a project, you travel, maybe a stakeholder engagement, or just create the situation of that particular scenario. And then the task you have to do, this is the situation, this is what this person is doing, this is the conflict that came up, this is how I resolve it, and this is the result. Simple, right? Now, focus on accomplishment and not only on duties. I've talked about that. Okay, so when you are answering interview questions, Don't talk about duties, talk about accomplishment. For instance, I remember talking to somebody in an interview some years back. I said, I have done 45 environmental compliance monitoring. They're like, oh, really? You know the number? I said, yes. So it's not just I've done environmental compliance monitoring. When they asked me that question, have you done an environmental compliance monitoring? I said, yes. I have done 45 environmental compliance monitoring between this space of time, between this time and this time. What am I doing? I'm answering the question, showing the accomplishment in a smart manner. Don't just say I have done it. I can do environmental assessment. I can do this. That is just a statement of what you can do is a vague accomplishment, but make it smart, be specific. Tell them, I've done 3 SDD. I was telling somebody, I said, I've done 3 SDD. Can you do it? I said, yes, I've done three. And I did the three this year, I did one this. I was so specific. And I told him the content of what ESDD will contain. I said, okay, I'll give you one to do, period. So I know how to do it. That's vague. Oh, I did this when I was working with Eto. That's vague. Tell us, be specific. Make it something measurable. Make it something achievable. What is attainable that people can reason with you? Or within this short space of time, I did this, I did this number, I did this number. This is the target I have to work with. I surpassed my target by 15%. I did this. That is how to answer questions to show that you know what you are saying and then you are result focused. Not just saying, oh, I did this. Yes, I did this thing. Yes, I do this one. Yes, I have done this. Yes, it doesn't show any seriousness. It's just vague. All right. So be honest with your answers and avoid over exaggerating. Avoid exaggerating your experiences. Don't over exaggerate. Just say it the way it is. So, what employers look for most of the time, what we look for employers is your good communication and teamwork. Those are soft skills that will make you to survive within the environment. They are important. And then it will help to even solve problems, right? Problem solving initiative. And that is why when you are answering question in a smart manner, saying your accomplishment in a smart manner, what you are telling us is you can solve problem. You are oriented to solve problem. You have problem solving skills. That's what you are telling us. I did this 5, 6, 7, 8 within this space of time. Oh, this person can solve problem. Oh. So you mean within 2 years, she did this, she did it, she accomplished this result? I think we employ this lady. I want somebody. That's the way we think. So I want someone that can solve problem. And you are telling me the time frame. Okay. So you mean within 48 hours you could research this thing out? Wow, that's fantastic. I need this kind of person in my company. So you must show us by what you say. You will know whether this person can solve problem or this person is just saying what maybe you read it somewhere. He's just saying. I mean, I can't pick anything out. You can attend interview now, and then at the end of the day, I can't pick any skills from everything you have said. Then why should I employ you? Because you just wasted my time. Even though I won't tell you to your face. But sincerely, you just wasted my time because I can't see anything to pick. No skills. I can't see any problems of initiative. Even the way you are speaking, I can't see whether you can communicate properly. Even your willingness to learn and adapt is not even showing. So why should I hire you? So those are the kind of things employers are looking for, your willingness to learn. When they ask you a question that you don't know, what you have to do there is to express willingness to learn and adapt. So people will just say, I don't know it, no idea. So that means this person has a close mind. I can't employ somebody like this. Period. That's what you just told me. Have you done this before? I don't know it. I've not seen it before. No. If they ask you something like that, say what you know about it and show your willingness to read it up or to research and learn it properly. That shows the person that, okay, if I employ this person tomorrow, if there's a challenge, this person will go out of his way to find a solution before I come. So that means this person want to learn. Let me give this person an opportunity. That's the way it is. So when they ask you difficult question and you are looking up and down, no idea. No, I can't employ somebody like this. Oh. This one, there will be a problem in the office tomorrow. He will tell you no idea. But this person is showing willingness to learn, willingness to adapt, to find it out. Oh, I may not actually know exactly what this is, but I think I know this. This may be related to it. However, I can actually research this up to understand how it works, how it connects to this. And by the time you talk that way, you're like, wow, see this intelligence. So you are not answering the question directly, but you are showing intelligence that you are willing to learn. And that's what I want to see. So I don't expect you to have all my question answered, but I want to see that willingness to learn and adapt. Okay. So professional attitude and confidence. You must be confident. You must sound professional. You must check the kind of words you use. Your words must be clear, right? Next slide, please. All right, so virtual interview etiquette, ensure a clean, quiet background, look into the camera to maintain eye contact, okay, keep your device charged and stable, disable notifications to avoid interruptions. So these are just etiquette that you need to follow for virtual interview. Now, I asked the other time that when you attend an interview, don't go there and say you don't have any question. Don't ever. If you have been doing that before, please, from today, don't ever attend an interview and they ask you, do you have any question? And you say no question. These are example of smart questions you can ask. Okay, so you have three here. There are more, but I just put three here so that we can learn. All right. So number one, what growth opportunities are available? After you are done with the interview, ask them what are the growth opportunities that are available. You want to understand whether if you are there for the space of let's say 6 months, am I going to grow? What are the platforms? What are the chances for me growing in this place? Is there any structure or a training plan, or did they send their staffs for training? You want to know. That shows that you are eager. You want to see whether the environment is an environment where you grow. All right. So you can ask that. What does a successful employee look like in this role? This is a very smart question to know whether your work, whether the employer will actually appreciate your work. So you want to know what is expected. Okay, if actually I'm employed, let me see the idea, let me see the understanding of who is successful, so that you can put yourself in that picture to know whether you can survive in that organization. So it's a smart and intelligent question that you need to ask so that you can mirror yourself and say, okay, yes, if this is what success means to this organization, that means I'm in a better place. That means I'm in the right place. I can achieve this thing. I can do it. So that's the way it is, okay? And then how does the team operate from day to day, right? So that's another question you may want to ask. And then, okay, the question I asked, okay, let me tell you, this is very good. The question I asked Drift, that's where I'm working now. The question I asked them, the final interview I was having with them on the platform, the question I asked them that day, I asked them, I said, okay, if I were to be employed, so who are the kinds of person? Tell me, who am I going to be working with? How many persons are in my department? Who are the people I'll be interfacing with most of the time? And they answered me. They said, okay, we have six verticals. You will interface with the procurement team. This is what they do. They answered me. I want to know who I will interface with. I want to know the people I will work with. Okay. And they answered. So that is how it is done. Don't go for an interview and they ask you, do you have any question? No, I don't have question, and then you go. No, that is not professional. And that even says something about you that be careful of this person. Now, and difficult question, I've talked about this earlier. Pause and think before answering. If the question is unclear, you can politely ask for clarification and then stay positive. Avoid speaking negatively about your past employer. And I've given a scenario of saying something close to it or an idea you have or something related to what is being asked, and then show your willingness of learning, willingness to learn and adapt to what the employer is actually asking for, right? Now, the next slide, please. So, body language tips: sit upright with good posture, maintain eye contact without staring, okay? Smile appropriately to appear confident and friendly. It's important. And then use controlled hand gesture. You can do some little gestures, but don't throw your hand all over the place. Okay. Now, after the interview, number one, send a thank you message within 24 hours. It's important. It's so important. In fact, it's a practice. It's a practice that you must imbibe. Within 24 hours, send a thank you message and reflect on the areas for improvement and follow up professionally if you do not hear back. Most of the time, I say this that if you don't hear after 1 week or 2 weeks, then send a mail to them, ask for the status of your the recruitment process, ask for where you are there. That shows that you are proactive. Next slide, please. All right, so the final advice: practice regularly. Mock interview helps. Practice regularly. It's so important that you do this mock interview. Even at DCC, we do mock interviews for every set. Before we graduate any set, we have mock interview for all everyone that attend our program. So it's important. You have to do mock interview, and again, you may even at some point ask for informational interview. I recommend that again for some of our students. Informational interview with a senior colleague in the field. Just try to ask them maybe 5-10 minutes. Look for how you can get them to do an informational interview for you. That helps you again and prepares you ahead for interviews. Okay. Now be confident but respectful. You must be confident, right? Now continue building your skills before interview comes. Building skills in the line of career and then stay persistent. Now, if you are consistent, like I do say, you will get it. Whatever you stay consistent on something, you will get it. And when you now stay persistent, then you'll be able to keep that thing. So it's important that you stay persistent because oftentimes success takes time. But keep doing the right thing and stay persistent. And when the opportunity comes, you have opportunities. And when they come, you make the best use of them. All right. So I think that's all I'll be saying. Very much for listening. And I believe everybody has learned one or two things from both sessions. So thank you very much. Over to you, Maureen.
Okay, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you so much, Ambassador Dolapo. Thank you for your time and for sharing with us. Do we have any questions? Do we have any questions for Ambassador Dolapo? Do we have any questions or any comments on the session or an experience that you'd like to share from an interview, whether a good or a bad experience? Any good or bad interview experiences that I would like to share? Okay, I can't see any hand up. I can't see any hand up for questions, so I'll take it that we don't have questions or comments. Okay, so there's a comment that says, I believe many candidates hesitate to ask questions during interviews due to fear, assuming they will have the opportunity to ask everything they need once they are employed. On a lighter note, ability to work under pressure has to be the most abused line in CVs. Yes, I agree. I definitely agree about the thing about ability to work under pressure. Personally, that is one thing that I do not put in my CV. Of course, when the situation calls for it, you work under pressure. But as Ambassador Jolapo said, there's no need to exaggerate anything. It's if they ask you a question about demonstrating how you have worked under pressure or how you've had to meet a tight deadline, by all means, you can show that, but don't necessarily put things that you are not very keen on sort of demonstrating or using to sell yourself. So thank you for that comment. Okay, so I think that we have come to the end of the learning content for today. Does anybody want sort of a review of an interview response or yes, just anything like that? If you do, you can indicate now. Maybe a response that you would want us to improve with you or anything like that. I don't see anything. So I will take it that we're all good. I'll take it that we're all good with our CV preparations and our interviews, and we know what to do and what not to do now. So thank you very much for sharing, Ambassador Dolapo. If we can just take 2 minutes to look at the feedback form for today's workshop. And so I'm going to copy the link and drop it in the chat. Please just answer the questions so that we can improve sort of subsequent programs. I'm going to try to type it in the chat, but you can also copy it. It's bit.ly CSW 21/12/2025. So if you've gone through, you've been here with us since the beginning, or if you're going to be watching this replay, we would still welcome feedback through this link. Just let us know what you have or what you think of the session. I'm going to try to type it so that it's easy to copy. Okay. Okay, so we can take a minute to just look through the feedback form. It's very short. Please answer. Please let us know what we can improve and what has been done well. So, that said, if you would like to contact us, whether that is contacting ESG Champions, as I introduced earlier, ESG Champions is a community of sustainability and environmental ESG professionals from all sorts of sectors, different sectors, energy, construction, any sector you can think of across Nigeria, Ghana, other African countries as well, and also around the world. People ask and receive hands on responses to pressing questions on their daily jobs within the sustainability space. And so, if you would like to join the ESG Champions community, you can just reach out to any of us. So, you can reach out to DCC, reach out to Ambassador Dolapo, myself, Enconverge team, and we would get a joining link for you to join ESG Champions. Then, if you would like to reach out to DCC, I said earlier that DCC, Dolapo's Career Compass, provides hands-on coaching, interactive training for recent graduates, mid-level professionals, career switchers, and individuals interested in building careers in sustainability. And they have different courses, especially the 1 month job landing accelerator. So if you're interested in that or you know somebody that will benefit from that and you'd like to reach out, you can reach out via these channels. And then finally, if you would like to reach out to us at Enconverge, we provide a number of services as well for professionals, for fresh graduates, for SMEs, for businesses. We provide sustainability advisory and we help to connect stakeholders within the sustainability and environmental sector. And we also have a virtual marketplace where ecopreneurs can sell their products and their services. So if you would like to reach out to us, you can send us an email, go through our websites, or reach out to us via the other channels that are shown. So thank you very much for sticking with us up to this point. If we don't have any comments or questions, that will be all for today. And we wish you the very best of the season. Merry Christmas in advance and happy, successful job landing 2026 in advance as well. Thank you very much, everybody.
Thank you very much, everybody. Thank you, Maureen, for anchoring the program today. Thank you. It's a pleasure to be here.
Thank you.